If you think that being organized means being Pinterest perfect, let me bust that myth right now. Especially if you have ADHD, organizing is all about keeping it simple. Does this sound like you? If my house was more organized, it would feel better. My house would look better. Does that sound like you? Because I have heard that so much where people are like, oh, my house is disorganized. Just give me a second and then it'll look better once it's organized. I'm here to tell you that that's just not the case. We've pretty much been sold a lie in regards to what home organizing looks like. It is not rainbow organizing. That's not real, nor is it really effective. It is not everything in clear bins that you spend a small fortune on. It is not about having everything perfectly contained in bins, boxes with lids all piled and stacked on top of each other. No, none of that is organized. That is just containing your clutter. What our ADHD brains need is simplicity. We need systems that are easy to follow. Okay, so when I say systems that are easy to follow, we want the least number of steps to complete a task. So I'm going to use emptying the dishwasher because this is something everyone knows and it's just like basic to give you an idea of what that actually looks like. Okay, what I'm talking about with steps. So the dishwasher is done. You open the dishwasher. You pull out the rack. You empty the dishwasher. I'm just going to focus on plates. You're going to take the plates and you're going to put them in the cabinet. Okay, you take the plates, open the cabinet door, put them in the cabinet. Then you're going to close the cabinet and then let's say and we're done with the dishwasher. We'll just say like for that one thing. Okay, so that's like 7 steps you had to take to just put the plates away from a clean dishwasher. Now with the dishwasher, there's not a lot of ways to make that easier. To reduce 2 steps, you could take the cabinet doors off, but that's not always possible. So looking at other steps and tasks you have around the house to figure out what can you do to reduce the number of steps you have to take. So let's say piles of papers that need to be filed. Okay, so those papers are in a different location. So you have to walk them to the location. We'll say office because that's where I am right now. So you're going to take the papers and walk them into the office. Then you are going to open the filing cabinet. Maybe you have to unlock the filing cabinet and then open it. Then you have to find the folder, put the paper in the folder, close it and lock it. Okay, that's 8 steps for like filing paper. Now, most of that could probably be digitized, but not everything can be. So digitizing something would be an easy step. But if that's not an option, then use something else like a magazine holder. And then you take your document, you put in the magazine holder, and you're done. Those are your steps. That's an easy way to reduce the number of steps it takes to do one type of task versus another so that you're keeping it simple. One thing I know I'm going to get, because I always do whenever I say put it in a magazine holder on your desk. Well, what if the magazine holder gets full? Well, that's a monthly task you can go through to kind of like reorganize all of those things, figure out what you need, what you don't, and then boom, you did another task with least amount of steps possible. We want to keep organizing as simple as possible. So keeping things out in the open, removing cabinet doors if you don't need them. We did that in our house in forever ago. We put the plates up on plate stands. So when we emptied the dishwasher, we just stuck them on the plate stand so they all lined up in a nice row. Because the goal of organizing, especially with ADHD, is just to keep your tasks and your systems simple. So your systems are your habits. It's how things go, where everything goes in your house. And the easiest way to do this, especially for our ADHD brains, is to zone everything. So zoning is just grouping similar items, either really specific or generic, in one specific area. So all office supplies go in the office, and that's the only place they are. So if you need a pen, it's always in the office. If you need blankets, it's always in the linen closet. If you need a kitchen gadget, it's always in the kitchen. And by zoning off your house in that way, you're going to keep things really simple because everything stays in its zone. And then if you see something that's not in the zone, you can then go bring it back to that zone because you're going to be spotting things that don't look like they're in the right place. Because ADHD brains are not disorganized. They just need a simple system. We have put too much pressure on ourselves where it's like we need to have these Pinterest perfect houses. And to be totally honest, no, you don't. Those Pinterest houses are being photographed. You don't know what's behind the camera because there usually is a big pile of stuff that's not pretty enough for the picture. Also, those are like editorial spreads. And I feel like with the shift to social media, it has changed how we view some of these organized spaces because they're just not realistic. You don't need to have that in your house. Instead, you need simple systems so it's easy for you to put things away, and then you will feel like your house is organized, because that's the goal. You want to be able to put things away where they belong, because then you will feel like your house feels like a home. If you like this video, make sure to check out these videos I know you'll love.